Thank you so much for being here again. Welcome back to Hannah Worldwide and Friends, the podcast where traveler, experts, and adventurer share their stories. If you want to learn about what it's like living in another country, you want to experience a new culture, or you just love to travel, this podcast is for you. Or maybe you need to get out of your comfort zone, and this podcast might be the inspiration you need. You can find me on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts. Hi everyone, please welcome with me Jing Zhang from China. Jing had some experience traveling around before she made the big move to New Zealand in 2015 with her partner Adam. Hi Jing, how are you today?
Hello, I'm good. Thank you to invite me to do the interview today.
Thank you so much for being here. I feel like super happy to be able to talk to you about your experience and have like your view and just how you felt with the move and how you feel living here. And also we will come to the point of talking about your big new venture as well.
Sure. Let's start.
Can you explain a little bit how it was for you to grow up in China, how your childhood looked like, and just also in general the idea of how it is to live in China, because it's such a massive advanced country and such a big difference to a lot of other countries. So do you mind just telling us a little bit about how it was growing up there?
Of course, I have a very interesting childhood and I do have a lot of story can share with you. Please. So I come from a small city in China. It's called Taiyuan, in north of China, close to Inner Mongolia. Yeah, during the winter can be very cold, like -15, -20.
Yeah.
In the summer can be extremely hot. So we have 4 totally different seasons.
Wow.
I grew up in the city and went university in that city as well. So I'd have to talk about my parents first.
Yeah. Please.
To share my childhood.
Yeah.
Sorry, to share my childhood. So my mom used to be an English teacher in the university.
Right.
And my father, my biological father used to be how to describe my father? So my parents, they divorced when I was at 5 years old.
Yeah.
The reason is because my grandparents, they want a boy. And then I was born. And in China, during that time, they have one-child policy.
Right.
So when I was born, their beautiful dream kind of break out. They cannot have a grandson anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you were the only child with that woman at that time, which is your mom. Wow.
So my grandparents, which is my father's parents, they have a power and they have money and they kind of have a good so they both work in a university.
Yeah.
And the grandfather used to be a chair for the university,
like a shareholder.
It's
Financing and giving money to it to like.
No, it's principal.
Oh.
Yeah, the top one.
I see.
Yeah, the highest one.
Wow, okay, yeah.
It's called principal, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have 5 children. And my dad is the only boy in that family.
Right.
So they really want my father to have a boy to take over the family's name. And yeah, in China, they believe boy is more important than girl. Yeah, long time ago.
There are a lot of cultures who believe that, and still to this day, it's sad, but it is still common.
When I was born, so my grandparents not very happy about that, so start to encourage my dad separate with my mom, and they kind of give my father some money, and they just encourage him to find another lady.
That's insane.
Yeah, so it make me think. When I was very young, I always blame myself.
Oh,
I
I'm
think
so sorry.
why my parents divorced because I'm a girl. So I'm the problem.
Yeah.
So when I was at kindergarten and when I was first couple years in the primary school, I always behaved like a boy. I always keep my hair short. I play soccer. I play all the like a boy sport.
Do you think it was because you wanted your dad to kind of connect with you?
Yes. So when I was a child, I always think if I behave like a boy, my father maybe won't come back. My grandparents may be happy to accept me and my mom.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know it's wrong, but when I was very young, I believe it's my problem.
Honestly, that's such, like, I totally understand where that's coming from. That's such a massive thing for a child to not be accepted and then want to earn the love of the parent and the grandparents and just make them want you. Like,
yes,
that's such a natural move, but it's insane how the brain of a child works, right? And at this early age to be like, okay, maybe if I'm acting like a boy, maybe then they would accept me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is my idea when I was very young. So they divorced around 5 or 6 years old. When I was 5, 6 years old, around that time, my father kind of had a how to say, in China we all live in an apartment. So my house is at the ground floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and another lady live at the first floor.
Yeah.
On top
in
of
the apartment block, kind of.
So my father start to have talk with that woman, and they start to flirting. How to say?
Having an affair. Yeah.
Having an affair with a lady who live in the same apartment, but on the first floor. And my mom is very, very sad and also angry at the same time.
Yeah.
And my mom sometimes asks me to go upstairs to find my dad.
Oh God.
And my mom used to cook a lot of food and set on the table and ask me, go upstairs to call your dad home for dinner.
Oh God.
So I said, when I was 5 years old, I don't understand what's going on, right? Yeah. So I go upstairs, knock the door. So I knock the door, and the lady who opened the door, and through the door I can see my dad sit on the sofa watching TV, eating some fruit. And I just say, Dad, Mom call you home for dinner. Yeah. And my dad even not look at me, just say, no, go away.
Oh no. I'm so sorry you had to go through that.
Yeah. Many times my mom asked me
because she probably couldn't do it because it would break her heart. But then to send her child is also, wow, that's not okay.
So I feel a little bit, I can't remember what I feel, but I remember the feeling that day. So when I say, Dad, Mom call you home for dinner, and my dad say, no, go away. And the lady just shut the door in front of me really hard.
Wow.
And then I can feel the wind blow on my face.
Oh my God. It's so crazy that you remember all of those details.
Every time when I feel the door close and the wind blow on my face, it makes me think about my childhood, about that time.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I need some tissue.
Yeah, 1 second.
So later on, my parents, they divorced. Yeah.
Which was probably a very good decision now, seeing how your dad treated your mom and you.
Yeah, after that, I hardly see my father anymore. So sometimes I calculate how many times I meet my father in life.
Wow.
Not over 10 times since they divorced.
Yeah, which is not a lot in all these years.
Yeah, and he never contributed any money for my
your life.
Yeah. When parents divorce,
Usually they have to pay.
Yeah, and he kind of just disappear. So,
which is crazy, because knowing that your grandparents had so much money, and then the dad not even helping to raise you, if he doesn't want to be part of your life, okay, but like not okay, but then okay, that's a decision he made, but not even financially supporting the child he produced is just really sad.
Yeah, and after 2 or 3 years, I met him again. As in my primary school, school year 1 or year 2.
Yeah.
And he showed up at my house. Knocked the door. And this is another time. It's very crazy. So he knocked the door and asked for money.
What?
Yeah. So he kind of like a playboy, because he's the youngest boy in the family, and spoiled the whole time. Yeah, and he born with money, and he don't need to do anything. He feel he deserve lots of good things.
Very privileged. Yeah, and entitled. Yeah.
So he went to gamble. Yeah, and borrowed the money from with very high interest.
Oh, yeah.
And he told my grandparents about that. My grandparents refused to give him any money anymore.
Fair enough.
That's why he come to find his ex-wife, which is my mom, for money.
Oh my God. How can a person not feel ashamed to do that? Like, not being there for your family you had, and then coming back asking for money. That's wow.
But I'm so at that time I'm so happy to meet him again.
Right.
And I'm so happy, and he turned to very ugly, become angry, and say, why you not borrowing my money, and start to have argument with my mom, and beat my mom.
Oh no.
Punch her face, kick the tummy.
So sorry.
In front of me.
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm so very sorry.
And my mom called the police, and he disappeared again. Yeah.
Was that the last time you have seen him?
No.
Because as a child, when you saw that, did it make you angry? Because as a child, you are very protective over your mom, right? Did it make you really upset not wanting to see him ever again? Or did it make you still wonder and still in your head kind of find justifications for why he's doing what he's doing?
Yeah, I think at that time I understand more. I'm on my mom's side.
Yeah.
I understand my father is not a good person.
Yeah.
Before that, I don't know that.
Yeah, because you were just happy to finally meet him, and hoping probably that he's there for you and wanting to build a connection. Oh no. Yeah.
After that, a couple years later, I think when I was about 11 or 12 years old, my auntie, is my father's bigger sister, told me my father married again.
Right.
With a very young lady. Yeah, and they had another girl.
Another girl?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Which sounds very...
Yeah. Did he end up staying with that lady? Was the one-child policy over by then?
No, it's still one-child policy.
So according to the parents of your dad, he would have to find another one and...
Yeah, but I think that at that time, my grandparents seems not to push that hard. Yeah, kind of accept that. Yeah. So I have a half-sister I never meet in my life.
You've never met her? Yeah.
I only see photo once.
Yeah. Do you have any contact to your grandparents?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay, do you mind telling me how that came about?
So, after I saw my father beat my mom, I feel quite angry and sad about my grandparents and my father.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I become I hate my grandparents.
Yeah.
I always say that when I was young.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when I grow up, I cannot forgive them.
That's really strong from you. Like, that's such strength you show. And you can be really proud of yourself after all of that to actually be the bigger person.
Yeah, now I understand. I think why they have this idea. They believe the boy is more important for the family. It's like a whole generation they have the same belief. Yeah, not only of them. It's because of the history. It's because of the whole society have this for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's not only their fault. It's just the history and the culture. Yeah.
Yeah, but you still have the hope that even though it's history and it's culture, that they might show empathy, understanding. But how did you end up? Did you reach out to them?
Yeah, it's a drama. It's a big story.
Oh, okay. Do you want to bring it up?
Simply to explain, because my dad is a playboy, still in Guangbo, still borrow the money. Yeah. So at the end, he kind of not able to handle his own life.
Yeah.
Yeah. He start to make some stories to his parents.
Yeah.
To ask money from them by different reasons. Actually, all the reason is fake.
Yeah. Just lying.
Yeah. Lying after lying and lying after lying.
Yeah.
End up, my father got over $1 million from my grandparents.
Wow.
Chinese dollar. So, but it's still a lot. Yeah. So, my grandparents kind of stopped talking with him anymore. Yeah. Even say, if you carry on to do that, I will cut down the relationship with you. We don't want to be your parents anymore. Yeah. So my father still lying to them, still making a lot of stories. Yeah. At the end, he even found some people to help him to organize a big story. Wow. Yeah. And end up, my grandparents lost their house.
Oh my goodness, because of their son? Oh, wow.
So my grandparents, they moved to the retirement village. Yeah. And I visited them in the retirement village 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was the first time you met them?
I think the first time I met them is when I was in high school. I didn't tell my mom because I don't think my mom will happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I still want to see how they're going.
Yeah.
Because my grandfather died before my grandmother. Yeah. Yeah. So when I went to the retirement village, only my grandmother there.
I see.
Yeah. But when I saw her face, it's such a old lady. Yeah. I think everything she did for me, for my mom, I kind of let it go.
Right.
Yeah. So we just had a chat about my father, about my life, about my mom.
Yeah.
And she didn't have any apologies at the beginning, but at the end she cried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad she did, because I think if she would never have said anything nice or, would show remorse, I think that's hard to process, and you have to work really hard on yourself internally to make sense of it and to forgive people, because often we don't get an apology and we have to just deal with it ourselves, and it just takes such a long time. But getting that apology from that person, or just that they understand, sometimes helps to really process a little bit faster and just come to terms with it and just accept it. I mean, not everyone can do that, which I also totally understand. If someone says like, no, it's too much, it's happened, I don't want to have anything to do with you, I totally understand that part too. But having the strength to let go for your own sake is amazing. I'm really happy for you that you were able to meet them, talk to them, and kind of make your peace with it as well.
And so I kind of grew up with my mom.
Yeah.
My mom always say, I'm your mom, but I'm your parents, both mother and father.
Yeah. And did you feel that as well? Was she always... Yeah.
So, talk about my mom. My mom played a very, very important part in my life.
Of course, yeah.
So when I was around 12 years old, my mom married again.
Yeah.
My mom, before my mom with my stepfather, he met another 3 guys before my stepfather.
Yeah.
All kind of, one is not really look after me.
Yeah.
Not care about me. That's why my mom didn't carry on with him.
Yeah.
And the second one have a very complicated families with another 2 marriage and 2 children.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah, and so they didn't work well at the end.
Yeah.
And the third one is kind of they not live in the same city, and this man at the end, this one start to borrow money from my mom, asking money from my mom. So my mom said no.
Yeah.
No. So,
not again. Yeah.
Until my mom met my stepfather. The whole time I encouraged my mom to find a man to start a new family. Yeah, because I saw my mom as a single mom looking after me is so tired and lonely, and sometimes, women want love.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't always be them by herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs some support, some help.
Yeah.
So I encouraged my mom to find another guy.
Yeah.
So finally, my mom met the right person. Yeah. So they married when I was around 12 or 13 years old.
Yeah.
And my stepfather is a very interesting man as well. But it's a good person.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, sometimes that's what mainly matters, that you're good from the heart and you want...
It's kind of a big challenge for me, because when I grow up from I was born to 12 years old, I hardly have any men in my life.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, when my stepfather moved into our house, I feel very awkward and weird. And
yeah, I can imagine.
I'm not sure you can do it. One day at the balcony in China, we still live in an apartment.
Yeah.
They hang all the clothes on the balcony.
Right.
One day, I just do my washing on the balcony. I saw my stepfather's underwear.
And it was like, oh my God,
hanging there. And I'm so curious. I never see this shape as a underwear, and I have a hole on it.
That's so interesting, because you have not been exposed to it at all, especially at that age.
So I'm just curious. I just stare at the underwear for a little while, and I even turn it how I want to see other side. Yeah, and my mom saw me do that.
Oh my God!
Why you touch on your stepfather's underwear?
Oh.
And another time in the bathroom, I saw him shaving.
Right, shaving his beard.
Yeah, I never saw it before. I just look.
Oh, okay. So you were that awkward child staring at him. He was probably sometimes going to your mom saying, "Your child is weird. Why is she staring at me?"
And because I always live with my mom, so sometimes I like in summer I don't like wear clothes inside of the room.
Oh, please don't tell me you were running around naked and he came.
Yeah, once. Yeah, so lots of these things happen. So it took me a while to get used to. There's a man live with me. I have to change my behavior. I have to act differently.
Yeah.
But my stepfather is a very sensitive man.
Yeah.
And sometimes he thinks I do not respect him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because now I think about it maybe, but at that stage I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
So for example, once he picked up a puzzle for me.
Yeah.
From post office, and he bring it to me. And he want to bring it to me, but I'm not at home.
Yeah.
And he just leave the big puzzle, the box on top of my bed.
Yeah.
I just put there. Yeah. And when I returned, and I saw a big box on top of my bed, and the box is not very clean, a little bit mud, a little bit dirty.
Oh, yeah.
And then I never think about it. I just say it. Who put the dirty box on my bed? Yeah, and that make my stepfather think I do not respect his effort to help me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the way I say that sentence sounds very rude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he become angry.
Yeah.
And he told my mom.
Yeah.
So the way we deal with each other, if I ignore him, he not say anything to me, he make my mom unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
he do something to he not share his feeling with my mom. He just
is angry or like reacts weird. Yeah.
And make my mom upset.
Yeah.
And at the end, my mom come to me. She asked me, what did you do to him?
Chain reaction.
So I say, so all the problem is from me as well. So when I realize that I tell myself I have to pretend a good daughter. Before I say anything, I have to think about it twice.
Yeah.
Especially involved with my stepfather.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Hearing all of that about your childhood, which is clearly like quite a difficult one, how would you think has your childhood impacted you on making the decision to leave the country?
I'm not sure why I leave the country. Maybe because of my mom. But I don't think it have any relationship with my childhood. It's
right.
Yeah, I can tell you why I choose to come to New Zealand.
Yes, please.
So as I say, my mom used to be an English teacher before she retired.
Yeah.
So she had a lot of schoolmates. They all involved with English and overseas studies.
Yeah.
So in 2012, my mom went to a school reunion and meet an old friend. Yeah. And this lady worked in New Zealand at Waikato University.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and at that reunion party, the lady told my mom, say, there's opportunities for your girl to go overseas, have a look. It's called working holiday visa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Around that time, all over the world, only New Zealand offer working holiday visa to Chinese.
Right.
So after that day, my mom told me that news.
Yeah.
So I did some research online, and it opened my mind. It's like, wow, I never think about that. This is such a good opportunities. I want to give it a go.
Yeah. So you were already open to the idea of studying abroad or going abroad and living somewhere.
Before that, I never think about it. But when the opportunity comes, I feel like I want to try.
Right. That's cool to be open for that.
Yeah. Do you think it's related with my childhood?
I mean, sometimes, but in that case, I think it was just you being curious and open to explore and experience something new, which is good. Yeah. And I guess maybe it helped you to know that your mom is now having a new partner, because maybe it would have been more difficult for you to leave her by herself.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. So after I know there's a something called working holidays. I call it WHV.
Yeah.
I did a lot of research and I feel I really want to go. And I share my idea with my mom, and my mom say, of course I support you. If you need money, if you need anything, I will help you at the beginning.
Yeah.
But at that stage, I'm still in the university.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's my third year in the university.
Yeah.
So I carry on to finish my universities, and when I graduate, I work in the hospital for a little while, and I applied for working holidays.
Yeah.
And I came to New Zealand after.
And also, for everyone who's interested, your partner Adam, we have had him on this show before. The way you guys met was through traveling, and then he was also open to move countries, so you kind of did it together. Do you mind just explaining shortly how that happened, that you both ended up going together at the same time to New Zealand? I mean, you explained already that you had the opportunity with a working holiday visa, but how did it come about that he also went to New Zealand and you guys met here again?
So when we so after the accident and after Adam asked me to be his girlfriend, we shared about the idea about the future.
Yeah.
I think I named working holiday first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say it first. And Adam mentioned he's looking for same things at the same time.
Yeah.
And I'm so surprised he know working holidays. And I'm so surprised he want to do it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we carry on.
What a great coincidence.
Yeah. And another thing I think I want to share with you is about why I choose to learn acupuncture.
Yes.
It's kind of, at the beginning, it's not my idea. It's my mom's idea.
Because parents sometimes have an idea what's good for you.
My mom always say you need to have a lifelong skills.
Yeah. Yeah.
And always repeat in front of me many times. But when I finished high school, I'm about 17 years old or 18 years old.
Yeah.
You don't know much about the world, about the future.
And what you like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like geography.
Right.
But my mom told me, if you learn that, you will lose the job the day you graduate. Yeah, in China, you hardly found a good job if you learn that.
I understand.
So I think my mom made the decision for me.
Right. Honestly, my mom and your mom have a little bit in common in that regard, that my mom also always really early on was like, you need to think of what you want to do. I don't want you to end with like finish school and then not knowing what you want to do next. I don't want you to waste any time. I want you to early on try things out and use your internships to find out if you like the things or if you don't. And so she would make us, when we had like internships from school early on, she would tell us, okay, try this out. You like the lab work? Okay, try lab work. And just to find out if you really like it. If not, try something else. Because she always wanted us to have an idea of where to go next, which I found scary at that time. I was like, I'm so young. But it definitely helped having kind of a path, even though it might not have been the perfect path and you can change. But in that moment, I think it was good because I knew exactly in what direction to go after school. Yeah,
same. Yeah, my mom always say this job you choose must not able to replace by technique.
Oh, that's such advanced thinking though.
Yeah, and at that stage I can't understand and why.
Yeah.
But she gave me a lot of pressure to choose to learn Chinese medicine and acupuncture. Yeah. I do like it, but I never think about I can learn it. I can do it in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I personally I don't say I don't like acupuncture, but my mom think you have to learn it more. Yeah.
Right, but do you enjoy doing it now since you are doing it for such a long time?
So if you know about Chinese medicine or acupuncture, it's a very deep and ancient
Yeah.
subject.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's involved with philosophy, astrology, even herbal medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah, Western medicines, traditional medicines. It's involved with lots of different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're still 17, 18 years old, it's like a kind of teenagers. You don't know much about life. You don't know much about disease. You not suffer before.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, I very struggle at the first couple of years when I learned Chinese medicine.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can't understand. And I kind of quite struggled for the whole time in the university.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many years did you study it?
5 years.
Right.
And you have to practice the needles on yourself, on your friend, on
wow.
animal.
Do you mind explaining just shortly for everyone who does not have any experience or know what acupuncture is, what you actually do?
Acupuncture is, if you want to understand more easily, so there's an easy way to explain it. Yeah, so they just insert a very thin needles to the certain acupuncture point.
Yeah.
Yeah, the acupuncture point you can understand is like a trigger point, or we work on the nerve systems.
Yeah.
When the needle be put into the skin underneath to the muscles, it can help the body release the good chemicals.
Yeah.
The chemicals can help healing, help the inflammations, balance the brain.
Yeah.
So the acupuncture meridians, you can, if you know a little bit about meridians, it's like an energy channel.
Yeah.
Actually, the energy channel is on top of the lymph system and the nerve system.
Yeah.
Yeah. So by doing acupuncture can help manage the pain, can help control the bad mood. Also, because they release the chemicals, it's like a stimulate the self-healing.
Yeah. Thank you. That's a good. Yeah. I think that's a good.
Yeah, and after I practice acupuncture more and more, I start to understand more and more.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is like not exactly like what you learn in the university. Yeah. I learn from my patient. I learn from
practical experience. Yeah.
Every day.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably a thing where your mom was right. It's a lifelong journey and you learn a lot. And it's a skill which is not easily replaceable by someone else. And AI, a robot. You always need someone with the background knowledge because now since I've tried it for the first time with you, the whole conversation you have before you even start inserting the needles is so important, just to understand what are the issues, what are the symptoms, what are, like, you also look at the tongue, you look at the nails, you look at so many more things, and understand the well-being of that human, the issues, the problems, stress, whatever is part of their life, and then you make decisions on which points you want to insert the needles to. So it comes with such knowledge and experience on which points to use and what might help, what might release, and it's just super interesting to me.
That's good. I'm happy you enjoy.
Yeah, I really like it. And I would be interested in seeing your view on what do you think are the main differences between, or like significant differences for you in the Western medicine and in the Chinese medicine?
I think the biggest difference is how they think about the body. Yeah, Chinese medicine, they always think about the whole body. They not only focus on one thing. Yeah. For example, there's a very popular diagnosis you may got from your GP. It's called IBS.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Irritable bowel syndrome.
Right.
So the symptoms can be diarrhea and constipation happen all the time.
Yeah.
It happen one after another one. Stomach ache, bloating, bad breath, and indigestion comes and goes. Yeah. So this kind of issues always be diagnosed as IBS.
Yeah.
And if you see a GP or Western doctor, they just focus on your symptoms. If you have diarrhea, they give you something to stop the diarrhea.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have constipation, they give you more fiber to let you go more.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have reflux, they just give you something to help it settle.
Yeah.
So as you say, they focus on fix the. As you say, the Western medicine, they more focus on target on the symptoms.
Yeah.
So, but in Chinese medicine, we think differently. So all the symptoms about the digestive system is really with the spleen, stomach, large intestine, small intestine, they not work functionally well.
Yeah.
Yeah. For example, there's a basic philosophy in Chinese medicine. We say the spleen and the stomach, they control the muscle, strength, shape, digestive system, and the bowel motions.
Yeah.
So if you have digestive system problems, sometimes you may have emotionally, you may feel more anxious, and you may be very sensitive to stress. All the symptoms you had can helped by balance and boost the energy for all the organs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a healing from inside, not only for the symptoms.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you have a better function for the whole digestive system, all the symptoms may start to getting better by time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for IBS, we not only do the symptoms, we do some boost for digestive systems, which will make you have a better appetite.
Yeah.
Process food better. We're looking after your stress and anxiety feeling at the same time.
Yeah.
And also, if IBS become very worse, sometimes people not able to work.
Yeah.
You have such a low energy, and so we boost energy at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we try to fix the problem in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah, from whole body image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also you consider energy flow and like, do you call it qi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
QI.
Yeah, which I find really interesting. I have to say my mom was always interested in Chinese medicine from when I was younger, and we went to Kung Fu and went to the school there, and they also did a lot with herbal medicines. And the guy who is running that school, he is always going to China, learning from the doctors there, and teaching, bringing it back to my little hometown. And it's just sad that a lot of people they are not open to new ways. I'm really glad to see that the world opens up a little bit more and is more accepting of new ways and not just the traditional Western form of treating the symptom, but not really looking into why it's happening. And I think a lot of people are doing more research on it. A lot of people see more the whole body now, and thinking about how the gut has a massive impact on our emotions, how the vagus nerve is connected to the gut and is like, the gut is like our little second brain, which is so much more involved in everything. And I like that we see more of the whole body, and it's nice to know that, you know, Chinese medicine was doing that and focusing on that from long time ago. Would you see it as that Chinese medicine and Western medicine complement each other or could complement each other, or do you think they're a little bit opposing?
I don't think they're opposing. I believe they can help each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Each medicine, they can't fix everything, right?
Yeah.
So in China, they're doing it very well. So if you go to a hospital, they have a Chinese acupuncture department and a Western medicine department. Yeah,
right.
And sometimes they organize a central meeting together to discuss some difficult case. Yeah, so always have a good result from there. Yeah, you can see they can work with each other.
That's awesome. I would love to see that here a little bit more. I mean, some people opening up, and my cousin, for example, is a doctor, and she told me she's like typical Western medicine. That's what she learned. But she also said she finds the topic acupuncture very interesting, but she has a lot of projects on her list at the moment, so that might come in the future. But just seeing that people are more open to expand their knowledge and skill set and are not just black or white, that they are actually seeing all the gray areas as well. That's really interesting for me. So thank you for sharing this. And how do you see, or how do you feel like working in New Zealand with acupuncture is different to working in China with acupuncture?
Yeah, it's very different. I used to work in a hospital in China for 1.5 years at Acupuncture Department 3, which is mainly for stroke patients.
Right.
Yeah. In China, the way we deal with patients is more like we want to see more people rather than quality. Because of the population in China, I usually see about 30-40 patients a day.
Wow.
And I only spend about 10 to 15 minutes on each patient. This is the maximum time I can deal with one patient.
Okay.
In China, we always do the treatment in a big hallway, and there's just treatment table and no curtain, no anything covered.
Wow.
No. So people, the patient arrive before I arrive. They just lie there one by one.
Okay.
Yeah. If they are follow-up patients, I just ask, how's you feeling after last sessions? And they just answer me. And I just quickly to put all the needles on. And I write a number about how many needles I put on the patient on the side of the treatment table.
Okay.
Like, for example, this stroke patient, I put 12 needles on him. I just write 12 there and then like gone. This patient never see me today.
Wow.
And the nurse will, when the time's up, the nurse will come to see, 20 needles. So the nurse have to find 20 needles from the patient and take it out and let the patient go. Yeah. And we don't have time to explain more about how Chinese medicine and how important about the treatment. I just do it.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
But in New Zealand, most people, they never had acupuncture treatment before. They have no idea about what is Chinese medicine, what is acupuncture, and why. So I found the communicate is more important here. Yeah, you have to make sure the patient understand what's going on before you start. Yeah. Otherwise, they just think, they may think I'm crazy. So the first thing is the communication. Yeah. In China, everybody know acupuncture. Everybody do acupuncture all the time, so they don't need that part. They just need the needles.
So people, would you say everyone is using acupuncture over there?
Not everyone, but it's like a physiotherapy.
Just a normal thing you do.
Yeah, you just do. When you feel you have pain, you try acupuncture. When you not go toilet well, you try acupuncture. When you're not able to pregnant, you try acupuncture.
Right, it's like your first go-to when you have something.
But here, lots of people, they try everything. Nothing can help.
Yeah.
Finally, they say, I'll give acupuncture a go.
Yeah. And do you have the experience that usually once they tried it, they have positive feedback?
For example, last week I had a patient come to see me for shingles.
Oh, right.
Yeah. The shingles is a nerve damage on the skin and leave very bad nerve pain after the skin damage gone. Yeah. This lady's shingles is on the face, on one side of the face, which is not a very common place to have shingles, but it's a very suffer for her. Every gentle touch on the face and put lotion on the face, sleep on that face is the unbearable pain. It's like a burning and the tingling, shocking pain on the face. And she tried a lot of treatment before. Yeah, like the medicine from the GP and some cream. Yeah. Even dermatologist. Yeah. Yeah, and the specialist for the nerve. Yeah. Do not have a very good result. Yeah. So at the end, she kind of like almost gave up the
to actually have help. Yeah.
So
Her last resort was acupuncture.
Her daughter went to see me last year for some other issues, and her daughter recommended the mom to come to try acupuncture to help the pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, so after 4 sessions, the pain already gone.
Wow.
Yeah, which is a very good result for her, and she's very happy.
Yeah.
And she write a very good Google review for me.
Very good.
Which helped my business.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a good case I can share.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the treatment involved with some needles around the local on the face.
Yeah.
And also the nerve damage is related with some imbalance for the internal organ, which is the liver and the gallbladder.
Yeah.
So I did some needles to help boost the energy for the liver and the gallbladder.
Yeah.
And because of the pain, she's not able to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as she turn on the light face, the pain will wake her up immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, and every gentle touch on it is unbearable. So she cannot not sleep well and frustrating about the pain.
Yeah.
And do not want to go outside for social because it's uncomfortable.
Of course.
So it cannot ruin her life.
Yeah.
So she do have lots of stress going on because of the pain. And so I work on that. And I did some detoxing point to help the virus to settle fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I burning some herbs around the local area on the face.
Yeah.
So the burning herbs, I not touch the face. I just move around the face area to help the local tissue to reborn and repair on itself. Yeah. So after 4 sessions, the result is pretty good. Yeah. The mood is more peaceful and able to sleep, and the pain almost gone, about 85%.
Right.
Yeah. So we still carry on to do the treatment. I believe after 2 or 3 sessions, she should be back to normal.
That's a really, really great result, especially after trying so much and no expected result. Having such an improvement in such short time is, for me, pretty much proof that it's doing something. Because I know there are a lot of skeptics out there as well. People who say that there's not enough science and research done behind it, which I understand. I just talked to a friend and he said he thinks it's more placebo, which I feel like even if it is, as long as it works, I don't care. But I would love to see more research around it because it's such an interesting topic, and some people need that paper in nature, whatever paper journal they want to see it. And it would be interesting to just do some more research on all of that, because it's just...
Yes, so it's very interesting who discovered acupuncture, who figured out the meridians, right? Yeah. I have these questions when I was in the university. I want to know the answer. Yeah, but in China, the book, they just say this is a wisdom from generation to generation. Yeah, great. So there's no one who figured out the meridians. Right. And sometimes our professor joking about who discovered that must be alien.
Maybe it was a really...
Because acupuncture have over 3,000 years history. It's really difficult to figure out who at the beginning figured out all the point and energy channels. Yeah. And then it's a little bit, I have to say, it's a little bit hard to explain by modern medicine sometimes.
Yeah, and that's why I understand that there are a lot of skeptics as well, people who don't really believe in it, which of course everyone can have their own belief system, but it's great. I can only recommend trying it out and see for yourself.
Yeah, you never try, you never know.
Exactly.
Yeah. It works or not works until you try. After you know the result, you notice the improvement, you will understand.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. I know that, well, we have talked so much already, and I think I would have so many more questions for you if we would have like 3 hours of time. But is there anything you would like to share about your overseas experience or like living abroad, which I haven't asked you yet?
Yes, I think another thing I want to share is about my English.
Right.
As you can hear, my English not very good.
It's good for having a conversation. I think it's good.
Because my mom used to be an English teacher.
Yeah.
she pushed me to learn English since when I was very young.
Yeah.
And I can't understand why. Nobody speaks English in China. Why I have to learn? What's the point? And because the pressure from her make me not like English anymore.
Yeah.
I cannot... Every time when I say A, B, C, D, E, I feel grumpy.
Yeah.
And in China, we do have English class since third year in primary school, but it's just a class 2 times a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not enough to
Yeah, you never
learn
have a chance to use it during the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, until I understand now, but when I was in China, I never think about it.
Yeah.
After I know the opportunity about the working holiday visa, I start to try my best to learn English again.
Yeah.
But still in China, you learn English through the books, through the internet. You cannot just learn it, and you never have a chance to practice it.
Yeah.
So the day I arrived in New Zealand, I stayed at Auckland for the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We live in a backpacker.
Yeah.
I share with you some interesting ideas and stories about that. So the first day I arrived, in the afternoon, I think I want to try New Zealand coffee.
Yeah.
So I heard the coffee called Fly White in New Zealand is very famous. I want to try.
Yeah.
But at that time, I only know Starbucks. I don't know any other local cafe.
Yeah.
So I stay at Queen Street in Auckland. There's a Starbucks over there.
Yeah. I've been there.
I believe at that time I kind of have some confidence about my English because I practiced many times.
Yeah.
So before I walk into the Starbucks, I use Google Translate.
Yeah.
I put Chinese there to say I want to order a Fly White. And they have pronunciation for you to say how it's say in English. Yeah. I just repeat many times. And I gain enough confidence. I walk to the counter and I ask the lady, can I have a regular Fly White?
Yeah.
And the lady look at me, say, can you speak English?
Oh no!
It makes me a little bit want to laugh. So I repeat one more time. Can I have a Fly White? Or maybe I say, can I have a regular Fly White?
Yeah.
And second time, I think the lady understand me. Yeah, and she asked me, what's your name? I say, oh, I never think of this question. I say, I pronounce Jing as my first name.
Yeah.
And they say, what? Can you spell it? I say, Jing. And end of the cups, they write J for girl. I for A.
Oh no.
And G.
So you had a really fun Starbucks name afterwards.
So this is the first thing this is my first day I practice my English.
Yeah.
And the second day I went to Subway. Until today I don't like Subway because they have so many questions.
Yeah. Which bread? What do you want on top of the bread? Do you want it this way or this way?
Different sauce.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Different vegetable you can choose. And
yeah.
They have all different options for the meat.
Yeah.
So second day I went to the Starbucks. It's a nightmare. I already paid and I want to pay and they asked me the questions. And I stuck there for about 10 minutes. And after I finished my order, there's a big queue after me.
But did this discourage you? Or did you just think, okay, I just have to practice?
After that, I think, oh, this is horrible. How bad my English. I have no confidence anymore.
Oh no, so it did put you back and you didn't want to really use it afterwards?
No, I have to. I have no choice, right? In New Zealand, nobody speaks Chinese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not the locals, that's for sure.
So you kind of have no choice. You have to learn.
Yeah.
So I push myself to practice more. And I use Translate all the time and practice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think until today, I still can't pronounce some certain things.
Yeah.
And I can't translate my word in my mind. And when I open my mouth, it's different things. Yeah. So when I at work, I sometimes the first couple of years, I always make mistake about he or she.
Yeah.
His or her.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in Chinese, he or she is the same pronunciation.
Yeah.
We never identify it into a different way to say it.
Yeah.
So until today, I always describe my partner as a she. Actually, it's a boy, right?
Yeah. Okay. But I know quite a few people who have that issue. So, and since I know your partner, for me it's easy to understand, and I can understand you really well. But of course, I think having those experiences in the beginning makes you still a little bit doubting yourself and looking back at it and thinking your English is still not as good. But I can understand you really well.
Who can understand me? Who is clever?
Let's find out. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we moved to Hamilton.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a lot of funny way to understand New Zealand slang at the beginning. The first thing is about all black.
Yeah.
So when I arrived in New Zealand, I arrived at Auckland International Airport.
Yeah.
I see a lot of big advertising with some muscular man with black polo.
Yeah.
And they put all black on it.
Yeah.
You know what I feel?
What?
I feel all black must be a fashion brand sell polo t-shirt.
Fair enough. I can see why. I can totally see the connection.
It took me a while to understand All Blacks rugby team for New Zealand.
The way they show up though, with their tricot, like, I don't know if you say it like that, I understand why you think that. I mean, it looks like they make some advertisement for shirts with the silver fern.
And another thing is when I work with the physiotherapy, and I do have some rugby player come to see me for treatment.
Yeah.
And sometimes they come with a group.
Yeah.
And they always say, "Hey, bro." "Hey, bro. Cheers, bro."
Yeah.
You know what I feel? I feel bro must be a name. And I found why they all have similar names.
I love that.
Yeah, later on I noticed, it's a brother, not a name.
Yeah, it's a brother and you can use it for anyone.
And another thing is funny. In Hamilton, they have a rugby team called Chiefs, right?
Chiefs, yeah.
Yeah, and their flag is black, yellow, red?
Yeah.
No, orange.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. At the beginning, I have no idea about that flag.
Yeah.
I told my mom, I talked with my mom online. I say, "Mom, there must be a lot of German in Hamilton."
Awesome. Yeah. Black, red, and gold are our colors. Absolutely.
Yeah, it makes me think must lots of Germany live in Hamilton.
And they all love to go to rugby games.
Yeah, and they got flag on the car, everywhere. On the door.
Yeah. Oh my God, so many fans of the... I love that.
Yeah, so... Yeah, as a foreigner moved from overseas to New Zealand, I have a lot of weird ideas.
Which is so cool that you share that, because I have not thought about it. There are little things like, the sweet ass and things like that, which I was confused about. But like what you say is so valid. Because I also, like, we don't call anyone bro back home. Like, we really, we don't do that much. So now maybe they do. They're like, if they want to be cool, they're like, "Hey bro, what's up?" But otherwise, you don't think of it.
Yeah, and before I moved to New Zealand, I definitely did a lot of research about New Zealand, about what I should expect.
Yeah.
It made me think some New Zealanders still live in the bush.
I have to say, I also did not know what to expect. And because when people say New Zealand and Maori, you don't know how advanced the country is. You don't know how the indigenous people are living. You just don't know. So when you actually come over, you see it firsthand. And I still have some people back home who would totally think people still live in a tent out in the woods, hunting. I mean, New Zealand is a big hunting and fishing country, that's for sure, but it's just not like it. And if you don't really live here, it's so far away from other countries too. So
yeah, and when my patients know I come from China, sometimes they ask me some questions, which I never think about it.
Yeah.
You know, the top one questions I've been asking in last 7-8 years?
If you eat cat?
Similar, they ask me, do you eat dog?
See? And what's the answer?
I say, yes, hot dog.
Honestly, there are so many stereotypes for different countries and cultures, which if you are trying to be more open-minded, you are trying to find out, like I love when people are asking questions and are being curious, but sometimes certain questions you just think, did you really ask that? Why would you not, think twice? Why would you bring up all these stereotypes? But so many people have never been traveling before. They never left their own country, never actually had a conversation with a person from another country. And it's interesting for them. They are curious. They have a lot of questions because what they see on TV is not always the reality. It's so cool. That's why I love talking to other people, because all these stereotypes, you can kind of dissolve them, understand them more, understand what's actually polite and what's actually rude. So many things you just don't ask. It's just not nice. And people who don't know, they just blur it out and have no idea that they're actually quite disrespectful or, hurting other people or offend them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so I feel okay. I think I understand why they ask that question.
Yeah.
Sometimes the social media and they just post something to attract people to carry on to read. Yeah. And the second question they asked me, do you have brothers or sisters?
Because of the one-child policy?
Yeah. I say no, I'm the product of the law.
I love your answers. But also, you never really know when things change. You hear something in the news if you actually are exposed to it. Some people don't watch any news. You hear something, you don't even know, is that what the media puts out, what's allowed? Is that actually reality? There are still so many countries where you see news and it's not 100% what's going on. It's changed. And it's really regulated what's allowed to show to the world. And you just don't know, is that the reality? Is that actually how it is? And then to talk actually to a person from that country who knows how the reality looks like. It's like, okay, let's get down to business and ask all these questions. Is all of what I've seen on TV and read in an article and saw on TikTok, is that true or it's not? Like, it's great that you're open for that and you don't take offense and just find it funny and make funny remarks on it.
Yeah, I always say I'm proudly 100% made in China.
Oh, I love a little bit of humor. I would love to ask you way more questions, but we are already a little bit in the time. But before I finish with the last quick 3 questions, because you have made the decision to move to Australia soon, and just because of the topic, moving overseas, living overseas as an immigrant, I just wanted to quickly ask you, what are your current emotions? Because you will move probably in a month's time. What are your current emotions in moving countries again, taking your stuff, packing your life together and start a little bit new again?
Because I'm packing and I sell stuff, it makes me think in the future I need to have a simple life.
Minimalistic.
Yes.
Because it's an effort.
And what I feel more happy than nervous.
Yeah.
I feel I have more curious about my future. Yeah, because life here I like the life here, but I want more challenge. I want some different things happen.
I understand.
I want to know more about other countries' culture.
Yeah, nice. So your excitement is the number one feeling for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. I really hope that you will have a great move, that everything goes smoothly, that you enjoy it there. And you have a house here in New Zealand, so if you ever think of coming back, you can. And I'm just really excited for you and hope that you will love it. And I will definitely catch up with you and see and check in if you actually enjoy it. And hope that I get some new stories from you.
Yes, maybe we can have another interview about my life in Australia.
Oh yeah, part 2. I'm having so many people where they change their lives up again. And it's just amazing to follow up on that. So definitely part 2, but then probably remotely, I would think.
Okay.
Okay, are you okay to have the last 3 quick questions, which is like 1 word or 1 sentence?
Sure.
Awesome. Question number 1. Is there any other country you would want to live in before you die?
I think I may retire in New Zealand, but as maybe if I know...
That's all good. Okay, I lock in New Zealand as an answer, because if you think of maybe retiring in New Zealand, I think that might be the one you might settle down at one point after exploring the world.
I think the answer is eventually, I believe at the end I will come back to New Zealand.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel New Zealand is more like my home now.
Oh, that's so lovely. Awesome. Thank you. Question number 2. What do you miss the most about China?
Memories.
Like from the childhood and your teenage years and all of that?
I worry I lost my memories in China. That's why I miss them.
You think you lost your memories?
You know, sometimes you forgetful, right?
That's true. Yeah. Right. That's such an interesting answer. Because when I think back of my years back home, it would be sad to lose them as well, because it's such a great time I had there as well. And
it's your memories, right?
Yeah.
When you miss a place, you miss the memories, right?
Yeah.
This is my answer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Such a unique answer. And number 3, what do you love the most about New Zealand?
Freedom.
Yeah. Have you ever felt that you didn't feel as free in China? Yeah. Okay, I take that. Thank you so much. I feel like it was a great conversation. There are so many things we could have still discussed. So yeah, maybe it's really good to have like a part 2.
Okay.
And I'm just so glad that you felt comfortable to share such vulnerable stories about your life, about your childhood, about your family with me and with the people who listen to it. And that you were here, that you made some time to come over to see me and to have this conversation. So thank you so much for being so honest and vulnerable and open.
Thank you. Yeah, I like to share a story with you.
Thank you. So for everyone who's listening, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to know anything else, please get in touch with me in the comment section. Or there is now a new thing where you can contact me as well via Buzzsprout. I hope you have a great time wherever you are, whatever you do, whenever you listen to it. Thank you so much for being here again. See you. Bye.